Hello, my dear friends. How are you doing? Hope you are having an amazing day and not having to deal with drama. Ready for new stories I have for you today? Let's go to the first one. Buckle up, as it's a long one, and don't forget to listen to the end of the story to hear my insights. Enjoy the stories, guys, and please like and subscribe. And of course, don't forget to leave a comment. A little context. I'm the youngest of three and the only person to have moved out of our parents' home. So my brother is the golden child who is in some pretty deep stuff and is still being treated like the golden child. Almost 8 years ago, he graduated high school, and during his years there, he was a D addict. For 3 years after high school, he continued to use, and this led to a criminal record of DWIs and reckless endangerment. During one of these, he hit someone and they settled in court with him, getting his license revoked and having to pay victim hundreds of thousands of dollars for damage to vehicle and injury to person. The courts put a lien on his account so that any money that goes in is automatically taken out for the payment. My brother has constantly said that it's unfair, and he's the black sheep because people won't help him. Fun fact, we've all helped him, but he just wants free money so he can pay off his debt and continue to party. So no, he's no black sheep. He's also a musician and makes little snippets of music. He turned his room into a studio. When I graduated high school, I had my own car and continued to work to afford things to turn it into a sustainable home. I left about a year after I graduated and now live on the road. For reference, the car I have is a Ram ProMaster cargo van that was basically a gift from our uncle's company. He had bought it as a company vehicle, but realized that a majority of the workers drive trucks to plow snow. So it didn't fit, and instead of returning or selling it back to the dealership, he sold it to me, since I was currently working for him as his only horticulturalist. Also, he knew I was tired of taking the bus every day after school, so this made me very happy. I do still work by taking odd jobs in different towns in order to stay afloat. So basically I'm younger, and working while he sits on his butt doing whatever he pleases. Our sister still lives at home but pays rent. She's the middle child, who I wouldn't mind being the golden child in some aspects of life, considering she put herself through college and medical school, so it really makes sense to stay home and pay off her student loans. My beef is she's the only one paying rent, because God forbid our brother ever have to pay rent. That last sentence brings me to yesterday. I'm on the road driving to Texas to visit some family. I get a call on the road from my parents. They ask me if I can lend them money. I ask what for. At first, they try and lie and say my mom broke her wrist working. She's a receptionist. I call BS and tell them I can always call Kay and ask if you're telling the truth. They spill the beans and tell me it's because Jay wants a new guitar, and that's why they're asking. They also say they can't get it because they don't have enough money. I ask why doesn't he get it himself? The answer is because he's broke. I ask why doesn't he start auctioning some of his stuff, because he has a lot of stuff that can go for hundreds. They say no because it's all sentimental. They ask for it again, and I say no. And then they try the guilt trips, which again I say no. And then the insults and saying I'm going to hell for not helping them. I told them, the help I'll give comes in words of advice for you guys to cut the umbilical cord and stop enabling the man-child. I laid it on thick and told them that he's in his late 20s and still living at home rent-free, while Kay, who's 24 and also lives with him and pays a decent amount of rent, and I'm barely 20 and already on my own. They said, you could have stayed. I asked, would we all be paying rent since those are the conditions? They hung up. I arrived at my aunt's place in Texas, and she tells me to leave because my parents called and told them I won't pay any medical bills. I told them the real truth and even showed them the recorded call. I record everything. A story for another time on why I started doing this. Next thing that happens is that my parents and brother are in deep trouble with the rest of the family for lying, trying to ruin my relationship with them. They deny it until the recording is played. And just like me, they hang up. They're not being shunned as my family believes in second chances, but people aren't buying into their BS. Anyways, the family agrees that I shouldn't give in to their demands, but also don't like the comment I made, and it has me second-guessing myself and wondering if I should have just hung up and not stooped to their level. So am I the a-hole? OP's parents are enablers, but they probably do have a plan. Getting OP and his sister to start kicking in to support Big Brother may be the plan. Mom and Dad probably want to retire and get away from the parasite, so trying to rope in the productive siblings early could let them off the hook. Not the a-hole. It might be time to put your folks on a timeout. Stay in contact with your sister. She might need someone in her corner. I can see them treating her as a cash cow once she starts earning well to fund her brother's lifestyle and music career. Not the a-hole. You gave them good advice that, if they actually took, would be worth far more than any money you gave them for a guitar. You can't stop them from enabling your brother, but they shouldn't expect you to join in. Not the a-hole. You should totally move in with your sister and buy a nice house and go no contact with your mom, dad, and brother. They won't have anything to inherit. He is there using them. So no contact, cutting off everyone, is not a huge loss. I'm sorry your parents sound awful. Update. To put things simply, my parents gave everyone the silent treatment for about 2 days before they finally gave up. My mom is super family-oriented and couldn't hold out, whereas my dad could. So everyone is talking again, and my parents are still enabling, but aren't trying to force anyone to help out. In some good news, my sister says she might be able to move out soon. She says that her boyfriend is going to try and make his permanent residence where my sister is. Her boyfriend is military, so this is a big thing to do. If not possible, my sister will compromise and become a travel nurse so that it'll be a bit easier for both of them. Now to the tea y'all are here for. With my sister potentially moving out, there have been talks about Jay, older brother, getting a job and paying rent. Our parents are middle-class working people, but due to the virus and lockdowns back in 2020, there were some declines that happened and are still affecting them. My mom can't hold jobs down for more than a few months, as most of the desk jobs where they live are seasonal positions. And my dad's income had gone down due to poor management choices. So they went to a financial advisor and were told if they want to retire when they can, their income needs to increase. They were asking for rent because they wanted this, and now that sister is possibly leaving, it's up to Jay to help out. The only problem is, Jay has zero work ethic and has never had a job. So they're thinking about asking Uncle, who owns one company and co-owns a restaurant, if he could hire Jay and show him the ropes. Uncle is thrilled, but Jay isn't. Jay is a party-all-night, sleep-all-day guy who, when is told to do something, threatens to harm. Uncle is a no-BS person and knows Jay couldn't hurt a single person if he tried, and also knows Jay is too self-absorbed to hurt himself. Basically, our parents are tired and now realize they screwed up, but can't do anything except either give in or give up on Jay. I'm hoping they do the latter, because there's nothing like shock therapy for someone to realize that the world still spins when they want it to bend. My parents have finally realized where they screwed up and are trying to fix their mistake, which is good. Hopefully they stick to it though. In other news, Texas has been nice, but I might need to leave soon, as the food here is too good, and I don't really want to gain any more weight while I'm here. Also, family has been nice and refreshing. Traveling can get lonely sometimes, so this really helped. A few days ago, while it was pretty sunny and great, I, 26 male, decided to take my baby out in the park. Don't ask about the mother. We walk for a while. Well, I walk. She's just sleeping in her carriage. I met my best friend, Masky, 28 male. That's a nickname because we look like two people from a film called Marble Hornets there. After a while, Masky suggested that while my daughter was sleeping to go get some coffee and catch up. We got to the closest coffee shop and got our coffees and sat down talking. After a few minutes, a woman came with 3 or 4-year-old girl. The woman said, "Oh, such a cute baby." I just smiled and kept talking with Masky. Then something got both of our attentions. The girl was trying to pick up my baby, who was sleeping, but dropped her in her carriage, and my baby starts crying. I immediately picked her up and started hushing her. The woman wasn't there, but the girl was, and she yelled, "I want to hold her." I said, "Sorry, honey, but she's heavy, and I don't like for anyone else to hold her except my friend here." Masky was looking for the woman at this point. I gave some milk to my baby to see if she would calm down, and she did. Then the woman came and said to her daughter, thinking we couldn't hear her, "Did you get the baby, honey?" Me and Masky were shocked. We didn't know what to say. Then Masky said, "You're joking, right?" Masky knew my baby was my world, and I won't let anything happen to her, especially when she is a few weeks old. Then the woman realized that I'm holding my baby, and she tried to snatch her from me, but Masky stopped her and said with a harsh voice, "If you touch that baby, you will be dead." Now Masky is quite a big guy, around 129 cm. I'm around 190 cm as well. The woman got scared and started yelling for help because Masky hit her. One thing about Masky is that he won't hit anyone weaker than him, just scared them. We just stood there, didn't know how to react. Then one of the employees came and said that he saw everything and called the police because she tried to steal my baby. The woman was shocked and didn't know what to do. Both me and Maskey were relieved about that, but then the woman yelled, "No, that's my baby. They stole it from me." That doesn't make any sense. The employee said, "Ma'am, the cameras caught everything." And before we knew it, the cops came and arrested the woman. The whole time the girl was crying and screaming that she wanted my baby to be her sister, and she was a good girl, and she deserves a sister. The cops take them out, and I put my baby back in her carriage. I press charges, and we have to go to court in the next 5 weeks for attempted kidnapping. Okay, what the actual hell? Who the hell just picks up someone else's baby and is just like, "Well, I want to hold the baby." Okay, lady, and I want $1 billion and a golden toilet, but you don't see me just going around taking those things from other people. I'm so sorry you had to deal with this. Also, I love marble hornets. There's nothing more scary than a scenario like this. I had a scenario similar, although it was from my front garden. 12 years ago, my daughter was in her pram and we were getting ready to go and pick up her older siblings from school. I ran in to fetch something from the house very quickly, and when I came out, the baby was gone with the pram. I ran out into the street, and just a short bit away, I caught the local addict walking away with my baby. I caught up to her and got my baby back. Not even a minute in the house to fetch something, and this woman was away with my baby. I never press charges because the police here do absolutely jack with stuff like this, because it would be a he said, she said scenario. Glad there was CCTV in your case, and I hope it resolves in your favor. I'm a 32 male and have been seeing a girl, 29 female, for 3 weeks. I got married young and divorced in 2020. I've been dating for 1.5 years, and I've seen 2 other people seriously in that time, and this issue didn't come up. Twice lately, we've been bantering, and she'll make a joke about if I was even previously married, but then she gets real serious and says stuff like, "Can you tell me why I can't find that public information though, and understand why it's even sketchier that you were defensive about it?" I feel like we have a great connection, but I'm getting tired of the mystery BS. Like you saying you're financially stable, but living with your 25-year-old brother, like it doesn't make sense, and you can get mad at me sending this via text, but the confusion you've caused for me is just as upsetting. If you don't want a girlfriend or a partner, then I'll move on, cause I'm tired of having questions come to my mind. I'm 29, I don't play games, I'm looking for someone to do life with. For the record, I've now agreed to show her my divorce certificate, but when she said, "I can't possibly be the first person who asked for this proof," I said, "You really are," which she said was gaslighting. I don't really want to show her my tax return though, it's pretty normal. $92K in 2022, $100K in 2023. I kinda think we should end this immediately, because she's got some deep insecurities that are going to make my life hell if I stay with her. We have a good connection, but I'm getting a lot of other red flags from my ex right now, not described here. Am I overreacting, or is she crazy and I need to leave? Edit. I called it off and right on cue received some long insulting texts. Nice. I don't have a problem with the proof of divorce, but not believing I was even married is weird. She never framed her request as making sure I didn't have a double life as a married man, but rather it was that I was possibly being dishonest about everything. And that's not just something I'm going to take the time to deal with to set the record straight this early on. We had multiple conversations about valuing honesty, and I described the split and divorce in detail, so if she thinks I'm making all that up, then I quit. My roomie situation is part preference, part financial. I like my brother, and generally not living alone, but also he's getting his feet on the ground. Splitting rent allows me to save a good chunk of my income while not watching spending that closely and living in a semi-expensive city. To be honest, I highly recommend. I'd never thought of it as a signal of being low status, but if prospective partners want to think that, it just helps me filter the ones that aren't for me. I'd definitely end it. You've been with her 3 weeks and it's like this? You'll be spending all your relationship proving stuff. I understand to see the proof of divorce, but your income is not necessary. It's been 3 weeks, and she's displaying this level of crazy? Next, it'll be your social security number and blood type. Run. Better yet, sprint, bro. I, 36 female, have a daughter, 12 female, with my ex-husband. My ex-husband and I split almost 10 years ago when our daughter was 2. We did not split on good terms due to cheating on his part. However, I've never wanted to jeopardize their relationship, especially since she has always been a big daddy's girl. So, to give some background, we've done 50-50 since the divorce, but when our daughter turned 4, he started making excuses. He was going on a work trip, he was sick, he had a stressful week, a deadline to meet. When he eventually took her for his week, she started being more angry at me, more tantrums whenever she got home, refusing to listen to me, and telling me that she hated me, and asked me why I hated her dad so much. At first I didn't understand why, but then one time she just started crying after I picked her up. She told me, "Mommy, can I please stay at Daddy's for another week?" I texted him and asked. He told me that he didn't want to. This started happening every time after I picked her up. Eventually, she just asked me why I couldn't let her spend another week at her dad's, and why I was lying about him being busy. I have never ever told her the truth, because when he eventually has her for his week, he is a fantastic father and she loves him. The older she has gotten, the more angry with me she has gotten. Last week, her dad had her after refusing for 2 months. When she got home, she immediately started having an attitude, telling me that I'm a bitter psycho, that she hated me, started throwing her clothes, and telling me that she just wishes I would let her be with her dad instead of forcing her to stay here for so long at a time. After 2 hours of this, or more like 8 years, I got fed up. I told her that it is her dad that is causing this, that he doesn't want to see her. She did not believe me until I handed her my phone so she could read our text. After this, she has just shut down. She told me that she was sorry for everything and has been crying asking what she ever did to him. On top of this, her dad texted me asking what was wrong with me for telling her this, and that I have now ruined their relationship forever. He has sent a few more texts, basically boiling it down to me being the biggest a-hole of all time. I feel like a crap mom for causing my daughter to feel like this, but after so many years, I just couldn't take it anymore. I know it was probably wrong, but I don't know what else I could have done. He has been telling her for so long that I'm the one not letting her see him, and has caused my relationship with her to be so bad that some days she's refused to even talk with me. Was I the a-hole for telling my daughter this? Oh, sweetie, not the a-hole. What a horrible dad for poisoning your daughter's relationship with you instead of just making the same excuses he does with you. It's horrible, but at least she wouldn't have blamed anyone. Oh, dad is busy and too behind with work. Why make it your fault when you're just trying to make everyone okay and accommodating his selfishness? You did the right thing, even if you should have done it years ago. Get that kid some help. Not the a-hole at all. She deserves the truth, and the delivery could have been better, but you are not the villain here. How dare her father be so terrible to her and then turn around and ask you why you told her what he says? Don't be so hard on yourself. The parental alienation he was pulling was not fair to you or to your daughter. It will probably leave some scars, but you gracefully protected her from it for a really long time. His bad parenting is the problem to deal with now. She's feeling major rejection for the first time in her life and clearly feels very guilty for being so harsh on you. This age is tricky because we don't have enough experience to deal with the things we're getting mature enough to perceive. Just work on your relationship with her and take her and yourself to therapy.